Hey guys, I'm Katie Room from Periapsis Press.
I'm David Room.
And we went to the bookstore, so we've been wanting to get back into streaming, so we thought we would just do a quick book haul video with you guys. I think I have the larger pile. Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can alternate.
Yeah.
So maybe you can do a couple, and then I can do one, and you
Sure.
can do a couple, and I can do one.
Sounds good. I grabbed.
Do you have sound working and everything? You have the right sound?
I think so.
Sound settings. Okay. Should just double check these things. I've had issues lately. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Patrick, Kai, and Anne. Patrick says, now to live vicariously through the rooms on me not buying books today. Hey, if you didn't buy a book today, you should reward yourself by buying a book. Hi to TJ Lombardi and to Michael Kane. Good to see you guys.
Nice crowd tonight.
Yeah. Patrick says, David, if I see one Phantom Menace book we're through. Oh, and Michael Shea, hi. Okay. I grabbed books 1 through 6, all except 7 of the fairy tale manga because it was there and I enjoyed the anime. I typically limit myself to 10 for most of the series that I have. And the girl at the counter was really nice. She was paying attention, for one thing, and noticed that 7 wasn't there. Double checked with me that it wasn't on the shelf, and then asked if she could contact other stores in their system and have them send it if they had it. And I was like, that's really, really nice. And I don't need you to do that. I will keep an eye out for it and buy it on my own when I can actually look at it. The thing about buying used books is you kind of want to be able to look and make sure that they're all in a condition that you can stand, you know. I've made a mess.
Sorry, guys. I'm tweaking. We're trying to fix issues with our webcam setup and having a great deal of trouble debugging this on Katie's computer. So I've got it up on mine and trying to fix the white balance issues here. All right, we're gonna try rolling with that and see how that looks.
Okay.
And then we'll compare that to our recordings from the other day.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Fiona Wolf said she liked the Eden Zero manga. I have not actually looked into that one at all. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. Hi, Fiona Wolf. Thank you for coming. Patrick says he's getting a slight lag from time to time, but it catches back up.
Yeah, there's we've had some bandwidth issues lately. I'm not sure exactly what the deal with that is. I'm seeing that on my side too. Yeah, it could be that I'm just looking at stuff on stream, but okay.
I'll do one more.
Yeah, do a couple more.
So I grabbed this copy of the Book of 3, and this is not the copy that I have, so I felt justified in grabbing it. It's still a paperback copy. I would like to get a hardcover copy, but when I saw this one, I realized that the one that I have is not the cover that I had as a kid. It was this one. I thought that one, it's similar enough that I thought it was the cover that I had as a kid, but it was this one with the very, very white, creepy skull. So I'm excited to find that. I'll keep probably one of them in with the kids' books and the other on my sci-fi fantasy shelf.
Okay.
All right, your turn.
Let me I'm just going to bring up the stream again.
Sure.
On my side. Just because I want to watch how it looks. This is kind of a debugging AV stuff stream. Yeah, we're definitely getting some lag, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is there. And it seems like the video is washed out on YouTube side, even though it doesn't really look too washed out on the StreamYard side. So yeah, something's up. Oh well. Okay, so
Patrick has deemed my double copies as allowable.
yeah.
I appreciate. And Fiona Wolf comments on the price. I've had pretty good luck.
Why don't you close those two
Sure.
tabs too? Because that
will
could be
help.
a source of stuff. I'm trying to have other stuff closed. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I grabbed some more Animorphs books. I've talked about these. So I got a bunch in the past couple times, and this is number 3, number 8, and number 10. So filling in some gaps. So I have 1 through 10 now, except for number 1. Number 1, I feel like is going to be very rare to actually see in a store. So I probably will just go on eBay at some point and order it. The first 10 especially are kind of fun because they're kind of coming to terms with their powers and meeting new characters. Like I believe this is number 8 is the first appearance of Axe. He's a funny character and one of the main characters of the team who's also an alien, and that's fun. He's kind of funny because like the other characters are human children turning into animals on the cover. He's an alien turning into a human, so that's kind of fun. All right.
Patrick says yes, pre-furries.
Pre-furries.
He also mentions Lord of the Rings. They made it to the reunion of Frodo and Bilbo at Rivendell.
It seems like whenever you click on one of those, it stalls. The video
Really?
stalls. Yeah. I'm just watching it. Click on one just once.
Anne says nice. Did it stall?
Well, there's a little lag.
Oh yeah.
Did you?
I clicked it. I'll unclick it.
We haven't even gotten there yet.
Okay. Well, you let me know.
Yep.
So I mentioned Patrick's Lord of the Rings thing because I found this set. So I grabbed it because I don't have it.
Didn't stall that time.
Okay. That's great. So this is the...
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. This is The Hobbit. And this is the first authorized edition in the United States. Here's the Fellowship copy. I just love how these look. The Two Towers is probably my favorite of these. And The Return of the King. So I now have a full set of that, which I'm pretty excited about. Did I need another set? That's not a question that we need to ask.
Yeah, it seems to be coincidence.
Oh, okay.
That it's clicking on the thing. So, yeah. So, and if you don't know why they're called the authorized versions, the first versions of Lord of the Rings that were published in the U.S. they were unauthorized. So, some company, I think it was Ace Books, just decided, their Lord of the Rings is copyrighted in the UK. It's not copyrighted here, so we can just print it. And not only did they print it, they like changed a bunch of the spellings. Like they did the classic, like change elves into elves and dwarves into dwarfs and stuff too. So that's funny. I would really like to get a hold of that version.
So Michael Caine asked if this is the one where the covers are all one piece of art. That's a good question.
I think they might be.
Let's see here. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Here, I'll hold them up.
Except for, well, The Hobbit too, but since it's got the oval. it doesn't really. And
Oh,
then
here, hold it up. This one up higher a little bit.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
very cool. I had not noticed that. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah, these are great. I wonder actually who did the covers on these. If it was I wonder if it was Quackenbush. If it says here. I don't see anything. It's got the same typesetting and everything in it as the other versions that we have. Like
Mhm.
the same exact.
Yeah.
And I think that the map is the same too, right? Or is it a little different looking?
No, it looks the same.
I don't think it says who did the cover art.
Bummer.
And sorry about all this stalling, guys. I honestly don't know what's going on. I will definitely reboot our router after this stream,
Yeah.
so we don't have this problem again. It's unfortunate.
And then I also grabbed this version of The Hobbit. It's not a super great copy, but I don't have this version. And
Look at this. It's just stalling.
yeah,
all
I
the
just
time.
got a little
Yeah.
bobber. And since I was currently reading it again to the little girlie by request, I thought it would be fun to get this. Ooh,
Oh, you just ripped that.
I just broke the binding
Oh no.
right down middle. Yep.
Huh. That's a bummer.
Well,
You're just dropping everything. Here, I need to get this stuff, set it down.
like I said, this one wasn't in super great condition. And I bought it primarily for reading with the girly so we could look at the illustrations together
Mhm.
while we did. This time I'll be more careful as I display to you the interior art. Change stream name to Book Gore.
Whatever will you do? You don't have another copy of The Hobbit.
Certainly not an illustrated one.
Do you have this same version already?
No,
Okay.
no.
Because that's a thing too around here. That version of The Hobbit I already have. The paperback one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how far
Anne says there's been a murder.
snap the spine like Bane.
Right in front
Yeah.
of us. So I'm not clicking on your guys' comments just in case it is part
Katie
of the
was
lag,
born in the
but-
dark.
Sorry, you guys.
You can click on people's comments.
I can?
It's
Okay.
it's happening all the time.
Okay. Michael Caine said he found the artist. It's Barbara Remington.
Yeah.
You think you own the fellowship? I was born in it. Oh man. I'm sorry, guys. That was ouch. You could hear it crack too.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do a couple now. So
Okay.
this is something that I debated grabbing, but I have sort of a project budget that I use for buying things like this. So this is the manual and other stuff for an early 90s game called Red Baron, which is a World War I flying simulator. And I actually played this game a long time ago. They released it as freeware, actually probably close to 20 years ago. But it's really cool to find the manual. It's a spiral bound manual, and it's really nice. It comes with 3 separate maps, like fold out maps of different fronts in World War One. And the manual, it's this nice spiral bound manual, and it has like a lot of history in it, and it even has color illustrations of all of the different aircraft, and it talks about aircraft mechanics and stuff. So it's got these schematics, and then these color illustrations. Let's see here. Color illustrations like this. So I thought that was really cool. And then the final section of it is maybe, I don't know, like maybe the last third of it is actually the manual for the game. But just kind of a cool thing. They wanted $10 for it, which is pretty reasonable. I think full boxed copies of this game cost a lot more than that. And if I were to buy a box copy of this game, the main thing I would be after would be the manual and maps. So cool find. So there's always something that you don't expect to find, and you grab it when you see it.
Did you say that I can't remember, but when we were talking about it, did you say that it inspired some of the like Star Wars games, flying games that came
No,
out?
just in general, the historical flights and real life flight simulation genre inspired the LucasArts X-Wing TIE Fighter games, because that company made some World War II flight sims that LucasArts published, and then they went on to make X-Wing and TIE Fighter. So not the same company. But interestingly, this game actually was made by Dynamics. And on my stream, last project update, I shared a big box game called Star Siege that I got that has really cool manual and lore book. It's a mech game in the, what is it called? Metaltech, I think it's called. It's kind of a BattleTech knockoff, but it's a mech game in that series. And so this company, making historical simulators, also making sci-fi sim games. So just in general, if you're interested in like I am in the genre of like sci-fi games with cool lore, the progenitor of that is historical flight sim games. So kind of general relationship there.
Patrick's in the chat dropping trivia about the Remington illustrations. Okay, I just have a couple things left. This is something that will probably just make me super angry, but I grabbed it anyway. We're about to witness another book murder. Board of the Rings by the Harvard Lampoon. And the very, very nice girl at the counter said,
don't read it out loud.
Maybe don't read it out loud. She saw that I had kids. I was like, I was not planning to.
So
apparently it's pretty raunchy.
I wanted to look in this one, like the little preview is like Frodo is about to have sex with an elf. So that gives you a
Did I read the preview? No, I did not.
But at least Frodo's name in this is Frito. There's okay, this is the one I'm thinking of. So Bilbo in this one, his name is Dildo. So that gives you a little bit of a clue as to the level of parody.
Yeah, so this is by the Harvard Lampoon, and the Harvard Daily News said it was a comic masterpiece and brilliant parody. And of course, the word irreverent comes up. That's highest praise, you know. So yeah, I figured this belongs in any Tolkien collection.
On a high shelf up away from
Up
from the children.
as a commentary, a social commentary.
And it's interesting. So it says not the inspiration for any epic motion picture. So this evidently was probably put out around the time of
Of the movies.
the movies. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, 1969.
Oh, okay. So written in 1969, first printed in 1993. That's interesting. So I wonder what epic motion picture. I looked at this and I thought, oh, this was just reprinted at the time that the Peter Jackson movies came out.
Hmm.
So I don't know what motion picture they're referencing. Yeah.
Oh, Patrick suggested Rankin Bass.
Those were in the 70s and 80s, though. So I don't know. Well, it's interesting that that's from 1969. So the text was written not too far removed from the original book, right? Because they were published in the late 50s. Right?
I guess I'm not worried about nailing this down.
No, what I just mean is that it's interesting in that it's a parody that was written quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody wrote, it's not like the Onion or Cracked.com parody from 1995.
Right.
It's a parody that was written
quite a while ago.
While ago. That's the point that I was making.
Yes. So yeah, I am certain it will make me angry. But I have read about this before. When I pulled it off the shelf, I was like, I didn't realize what it was at first because it wasn't near the rest of the Tolkien stuff, which is where they usually put this kind of thing, no matter who it's written by. But yeah, so that will be something to start conversations.
What so where was it if it wasn't by the Tolkien books? Just in the
sci-fi fantasy stuff.
Okay.
Shelved under Lampoon.
Oh, okay. So you just happened to spot it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Why don't you here, I'll do this one, then you can do your last one, then I'll do my comics.
Okay.
Okay, so I just bought a copy of this book, but when I showed that one, I said it will hold me over until I found a better copy that's in nicer shape. Well, here's the better copy that's in nicer shape. Still not perfect. Some gunk on the jacket, but it does actually have the dust jacket. And the pages are not discolored, and the only pages that are creased at all, and they're only bent, they're not actually creased, are the fold out Death Star page. So I will put the other copy of this book on the kids' shelf, and they can enjoy it. And this will go in with my Star Wars collection.
Nice.
So I talked about this book before. Big influence on me. Never owned it as a kid. Always had to get it through interlibrary loan or whatever, or look at it at a friend's house. Finally got a couple nice copies of it. So
I knew Patrick would appreciate the dust jacket. Okay. So my turn again?
Yep.
Okay. Last thing I grabbed was this one. I'd been keeping an eye out for this. This is, and I don't know how well known it is. I read it several years ago before my indie. This I read it after I read the Jim Butcher Dresden stuff. This is a like an Irish Druid, same sort of thing. And I remember that I enjoyed it, so I grabbed this one, and it'll go on the shelf with my other trad pub stuff. But now that I've done more outside trad pub reading, I might revisit it and see what I think. It's like there's a lot of them, but they're only ever shelved with the paperback stuff. Like even if you go to the library, if your library has like a separate paperback stuff, that's where they are. So, but at the time, it was the only other thing in that genre that I'd read. The sort of urban fantasy detective-y genre. So I grabbed that. And then just a couple of random things here to finish off. David found this for me. Goodwill. I'll just throw that up. Fun.
We had a really good Goodwill haul
I wasn't there
the other weekend.
but he took care of me. I will not break the spine, but I will show you. It's got these wonderful illustrations around the edges, and they are on every page. And so then it also has like full page illustrations in there too. So that's really nice. I grabbed 2 kids' books, an old hardcover copy of A Little Princess to read to my little princess, and a copy of Andrew Clement's Frindle, which, if you haven't read this, is a really fun book that talks, well, it's teaching, right? Because this is an educational book that my father put in his classroom. It teaches about why words mean what they mean. So as a kid who loved to read, it really captured my imagination, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I grabbed a copy to have for my kids.
All right. Is that it for your stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to read a couple comments here.
Okay.
Deanna Wolf says, there's still some trad pub writers I read. I've noticed most of them are republishing under indie setups after the rights go back to them nowadays. And Patrick says, just sad. Remember when trad pub sci-fi used to care about us? Yep. Okay.
Okay. So I always like to grab stuff from the clearance comics bin. And this last time there were actually a lot of their clearance comics they wanted $1 a piece for. So that was just easy to ignore for that stuff. But luckily most of the stuff I wanted was in the 50-cent bin. I actually got quite a nice pile. So, and I've gotten some comics from some other half-price books trips that we made. But nothing quite like this this haul. So I thought this was worth showing. And look at this. It keeps stalling. Okay. The first one was the Image 1963 book 2. So 1963 was an early series that Image put out that was written by Alan Moore and had pencils by Steve Bissette and inks by Dave Gibbons. So it was kind of like an all-star book, and it's supposed to look like a Silver Age comic with characters that are kind of a throwback to Silver Age characters, but a modern story. And it's printed on newsprint, and it's got these fun like fake ads for products. So it's a really, really neat series. I read the first one and it was cool, so grab the second one. This Lords of the Ultra Realm #3 by DC. I wouldn't grab something like this, but it had really cool art, and it's kind of like a fantasy thing. And the artist is Pat Broderick, who actually illustrated Mike Barron's newest book, the Weird Western one. So I think it's cool. I like to grab books that I see that are illustrated by like Comicsgate or other indie comic artists that I know of, indie circles on Twitter. So this was kind of a fun thing to find. This I don't know too much about, but it looked cool. Series, it's like 1 and 2 of a series called Parts Unknown from Eclipse Comics. Probably wouldn't have gotten these if they weren't 1 and 2, but like when I see things that are early in the series, I grab them because then you can read it and know whether you want to grab more. And this, so they had a bunch of kind of like non-Marvel and DC weird sort of like black and white stuff there. And this is a good example of that. So here, actually, let's open #1. This seems to be a story about like some alien, like an alien shapeshifter invasion, and it just was really cool art. So stuff like this I like to grab. And then I found Prey #1 by Troy Nixie. This is kind of getting into outlaw comic type stuff. So indie, very interesting, distinctive, black and white, hyper violent, really, really unique stuff. Just cool. Worth 50 cents. Patrick, are you talking about Parts Unknown? Or a different book that's 8 issues long? Union #3, just a Image comic. I have some other issues of this, and this is by Mark Texeira, who's kind of also does some indie work these days. Don't know too much about the story, but it's kind of nice. Nice sort of 90s art. This looks like a comic book should, in my opinion. A couple issues of Grimjack Case Files from First Comics. Keep hearing about Grimjack, and this is like a reprint collection. So this one, even though it's #3 in Grimjack Case Files, has a reprinting of the very first Grimjack comic, so I thought I'd grab it. Oh, nice. So Patrick knows about Parts Unknown. I suppose that's kind of the alien invasion stuff is kind of up Patrick's alley.
Yeah.
So cool.
And hi to Ultimate Kahuna.
Yep. And then the last thing I got was this Q Unit #1 from Harris Comics. You see this sometimes. I feel like I've seen it before. This one is sealed and has the card in it. I just thought I would grab it. And Harris Comics is actually after Hall of Heroes, who published some of Ethan Van Sciver's early Cyberfrog stuff. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to start grabbing Harris Comics that I see. So yeah, this looked fun. So yeah, that's it for my little comic haul.
All right. I think that's it for today.
Yeah. And apologize again for all the stuttering. That doesn't usually happen, so I don't know what the deal is. We will for sure try to debug that, and hopefully that won't be an issue next time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're connected to the same Wi-Fi network that you usually are. We could just check that.
The whole problem. Yep, that's the whole problem.
You're connected to the 5 gigahertz one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, that's on me. Although I never do that on purpose.
Yeah,
so-
it's certainly because the other one was down, and I don't know. I tend to connect to the 5 gigahertz and it works fine
Yeah.
for my computer. So maybe my computer's got a little bit better Wi-Fi card in it. But
yeah.
yeah, let's just see. So did you just change
Oh,
networks?
I certainly could.
Let's just do it here and then just talk for a little bit and see
Sure.
if we have still have stuttering issues, because that would be a pretty definitive explanation. So there's a little stuttering there as we switch, and
Your server has died. You didn't make it to the Intergalactic Oregon Trail.
we're still stuttering
Hmm.
a little bit.
Is
Yeah.
that just it?
It could just be finishing the transition. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, we love buying books and we love sharing them with people. So as long as you guys like watching,
Yeah.
we'll keep doing
It
this kind
tried.
of thing.
Fiona Wolf says it tried. Nice. Yep. Yeah. My other machine isn't on, so we don't have some weird.
Something sucking up all the.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, it looks maybe steadier now.
Now that we're done.
Yeah, now that we're done.
I'm sorry, guys. Should have checked.
I've
that
had
right
bad
away.
luck with streaming lately. I've been streaming some project stuff and random issues. Like once, I use the same OBS profile and it's just like the audio wasn't working. So the first 5 minutes of audio is gone. And then I've been doing this little Oregon Trail series where I'm making a sci-fi text survival game, kind of like Oregon Trail. And the first half hour last night, the screen share wasn't working.
Oh.
So it was just locked. It was like just frozen. The desktop share was just frozen.
Huh.
And I didn't notice until I actually deleted it in OBS and brought it back. So you really have to double check things, I guess.
Yeah.
To double check that your audio devices are still there, you're getting levels. You have to look at your preview screen in OBS and make sure that everything's actually showing up like you want. Well, I'm not seeing any stutters now, so
should I try selecting a
comment?
Go
throw up a bunch of comments.
Patrick says there isn't a commandment against watching book buyers in the Bible, so this is up my alley. And Anne says covetousness.
Covetousness. For me, sometimes I kind of feel the opposite way. Like when I get an urge to go out and buy something, I will just watch a whole bunch of videos of YouTubers doing unboxing or reviews or whatever, and then I kind of am like, okay, I don't need to buy that anymore.
Sure.
So it can function as the opposite, like almost as a covetousness killer. Like you can just sort of enjoy people enjoying things. And like I feel like I don't have enough time in the world for all the different hobbies that I'd like to have. So it's nice to be able to just enjoy. There it stuttered a little bit. So it's stuttering less.
Yeah. It's like you can have the enjoyment of watching somebody who cares and knows about the product, like opening it and talking about it, but then you don't have to find a spot for it.
And especially if that's their main hobby. Like my main hobby, I would say, it's like programming, maybe music, writing a little bit. Like those are my main hobbies. Other people's like main hobby is action figures.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to I can dabble in action figures, and I can enjoy watching people who that's their main hobby, or comics, right? I can dabble in comics. I don't have to have a wall of long boxes.
Yeah.
I can leave that to somebody else who that's their main hobby and focus on the stuff that is most meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is definitely stuttering less. So I think there still is a connection problem, but it was just exacerbated by that
Yeah,
network.
I think so.
Probably router issues are still involved because that's why you got booted onto the other
Right.
network.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming and for participating with us in the chat and commenting. We really enjoy hanging out with you guys, and it's been good to get back into streaming. So,
yeah, and if you're interested in my projects, so I've been streaming periodically about my space combat game, and then like I said, I've got a new little series, something kind of fun. I'll just talk a little bit more about quick. So over the weekend, we were listening to there's a channel called Gaming Historian, and he had a nice video about the game Oregon Trail, which both of us played as kids. I think you played a later version of it, probably like the 2.0 version. I actually played the DOS version from 1991, and me and my friends actually played that game a lot. And this was a nice documentary that went through the history of the development of the game. It originally was sort of this text-based game that ran on mainframes in the early 70s. And it brought back to mind how when I was first learning how to program, I used to write these little text-based games, kind of like Oregon Trail, where you were trying to travel through and survive, and you had a few resources to manage, but then these different random events would happen, and how kind of fun and addictive those games are despite being really simple. And I thought, oh, it would be an interesting thing to develop one completely from the beginning, write all the code on stream, kind of work through the whole thing on stream. So I started that little series, and the goal with it is to just have fun, do the whole thing on stream, write it simply, and write it in such a way that you could potentially port it back to a vintage microcomputer. So if it turns into something fun that we want to do that with, that might be something that we do sometime in the future, is actually take it back to Commodore 64 or DOS or something. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you. And also the fun thing about that is I kind of put out a call out, like if people who watch have ideas about random events or mechanics or different things that happen, they can suggest them. And I'm not going to make any promises because it's kind of, the game is based on my world, my setting. But if we have some good ideas, we might try to integrate them in there. So it could be a fun thing if people want to get involved.
Fiona Wolf remembers playing.
Yep. Lost oxen from the river crossing. Yeah, those river crossings could be pretty brutal. I guess in the original game, the original text adventure, like Indians would attack too, and you'd have to shoot them. So that's something that they phased out. It was already not politically correct even in the mid 80s to do that anymore. But yeah, you didn't just use ammo for hunting. Like there would be like enemy riders that originally said Indian, but then they changed to like enemy riders appear, and then you'd have to shoot them.
And attacking wolves. That was the other.
Yeah, wolves too. I think there were wolves in the version that I played, because you could encounter predators when you were hunting. They weren't very good for meat, but you had to kill them, otherwise you could get hurt.
Huh. That's interesting. I don't think I had that.
Patrick points out that you could only carry 100 pounds of food from hunting. And that's true. And that's actually, they did a lot of research to make the game historically accurate. And that is one thing that is actually historically accurate. Is like in real life, you would like just go into the woods and shoot a whole bunch of animals and only be able to carry some of the meat out. Like, so like as a kid, you're just laying all of the forest animals, but that's actually probably realistic.
Oh man.
Anne says Josh did not make it to Oregon. So when yeah, well that's and naming after people, that's how we always played. So we would name everybody after people in our family, or we would just make up a family. And the game doesn't really distinguish between the different characters, but it was always a source of fun when like everybody died off except for the people that you decided were like we always imagined that because there's 5 people, right? So it's a mom and a dad, and then we imagine like 2 kids and a baby. So it was always fun when like the mom and dad died off and it's just the kids. And once or twice, only the baby survived. And then of course, when it's only the baby that's left, you can't take the Barlow Toll Road. You have to raft. You have to raft down the river to see if the baby can raft down the river. So one interesting thing about the documentary is that they said that that choice at the end where it's like taking the Barlow Toll Road or rafting down the river, both of them were going to be mini games. So there's going to be the rafting down the river was going to be like the arcade style mini game, and then the Barlow Toll Road was going to be like a puzzle game where you had like levers and ladders and ropes and stuff, because I guess that's how the Barlow Toll Road is there was a lot of dangerous elevation changes and stuff in it, but they ran out of time. So basically it's like, do you want to play the fun and dangerous rafting game, or do you want to play it safe? And the answer when you have just a little baby left is, of course, we want to raft down the river.
My first exposure to Oregon Trail was in the back seat, right? My older boy cousins playing on grandma's computer, and we were allowed to sit behind them if we were quiet and we didn't say anything, we didn't bother them, and we could watch. And then we finally got it to play on PC, probably long after. We probably got the game for free. We got a lot of our PC games as kids. All right. I think I'm going to call it.
All right. Thanks for watching.
We had a lot of fun. Everybody have a great night.